Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Keymaster episode. I'm Sven Rajala, and today I've got with me
Ray Lillback.
And our theme is going to be IoT themes of what's going on. So, Ray, what are some of the themes we've got going on in IoT these days?
So when you look at IoT, it's very segmented by specific industries and is being driven by specific standards. If you take a look at the different groups that are doing things, like you've got EV charging has their own set of standards. You've got medical devices that have their own set of standards.
Would iSun come in there too?
Yeah, iSun's an example of something that these all need security based inside of them. And when you look at what these standards are trying to do, is they're trying to create a centralized trust chain that is auditable, that has protection of key material, and has a means to automatically distribute trust to individual devices.
So the themes I see are kind of standardizing because it's siloed.
Yes.
Obviously, leveraging a PKI. What kind of is there standards behind those that push it or specific? Because ySun's one kind of standard, right?
Yep.
And then I'm sure you can name a lot more because IoT is really not my area.
Yeah. So if you look at in EV charging, there's this concept.
EV charging. There we go.
There's this concept called plug and charge, where I can actually use my EV as a means to authenticate that I'm a person and I have a contract with a supplier of energy. And by plugging in my EV, it can authenticate like a credit card would back to some home station, and I get charged just for the energy that I consume.
Nice.
And I can do that, but I need a means to be able to trust. The vehicle needs to trust the charging station, because if I did a charging station and did something bad to it, I could start hacking an EV.
Oh,
you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad thing.
And then the EV charger itself needs to turn around and be able to talk to basically a banking system. And that whole thing needs to be trusted in an ecosystem where I might be, one supplier of a charging pump and then another supplier of a charging pump. How is it that I can create a trusted ecosystem that all of these chargers and all of these electric vehicle manufacturers will cross-trust each other?
A bridge?
Yeah, it's
I don't know. Do we have an answer?
Yeah, we do. The concept is, things aren't very prescriptive in standards. They can't be. So if you adopt something like a PKI, and if you look at this plug and charge standard, that's what they do. They take a PKI and they create this global trusted network where you have globally trusted authorities, similar to what you do with web browsers. And then those trusted authorities can audit the manufacturers of the EV chargers, can audit the manufacturers of the vehicles, audit the people that are supplying energy. They're called mobility operators or EMSPs. And this can create this global network of trust. So I could take a vehicle, plug it into any charger anywhere, and it would automatically bill me based on who I have a contract with.
So auditing is definitely another theme. What do you think is another theme on top of these other ones we've covered so far?
A great theme in all of the standards is, how do I protect private keys to establish trust?
Yeah. So is that HSM, TPM, a trusted execution environment?
Trusted execution environments, secure elements, which are very inexpensive pieces that I can put onto a device, which protects the private key and does all of the crypto operations inside of it. A TPM is a little bit more powerful in what it can do and is aimed more at more powerful applications.
Okay.
But I could have something a small device, constrained device, and I need some kind of secure element on it. Now I can protect a private key there. And then what do I do inside of the PKI for my signing operations? I need to be able to audit when I'm signing, what I'm signing, who's signing, etc.
So it's just like the standard enterprise signing for code signing use cases as well in the IoT side. Okay.
Exactly. everything in terms of what a PKI can offer automatically makes it so that you can meet these standards. The challenge that you get inside of the way the standard is written is I could do something else, but the onus is on the individual company to come up with a structure that already does what a PKI does.
So in other words, yeah, it's saying that you could do a custom proprietary solution, but if you use PKI, you'll have an interoperable set of protocols already defined in the industry that you could operate and have a more level playing field for maximum interoperability.
Exactly. And then when I look at trying to turn around and go into an operational environment where I might be a manufacturer of a device and there is an operator that buys that device, I need a means to turn around and make that device trusted in my ecosystem.
Which goes into the burst search, which is something we do want to cover in another video down the road.
Yeah, exactly. So the concept is that the manufacturer of the device can put a permanent device identity that can then be used by an operator to onboard that device into their environment. Well, how do you do that and make sure that it's compatible across all PKIs? You use standard enrollment protocols. Well, PKIs already have established standard enrollment protocols.
Yeah, which we see a lot of out there, which is good.
So by adopting the PKI that we all know and love in the IoT space, you automatically meet the requirements of all these standards.
That's cool. So do we have any other themes or that kind of cover it where we want to go?
I think the other common themes that you see are what are we doing in terms of making sure that the manufacturers of devices make sure that the firmware that's operating on the device is valid. And that's where things like
a good one.
code signing comes into play, where I need to sign the firmware that I'm updating so that I know it came from a common source. The challenge that you see there today is that the manufacturers of the chips allow you to do this, but they don't give you any integration into something that will allow you to protect a private key and audit the fact, when did I do this? And make sure that I don't have a bad implementation or some bad actor in this entire environment. So adopting a code signing solution that integrates with an HSM is a great means to establish this.
Those are a lot of great themes to look at. And where we want to go with this is actually probably break these out into more sub videos on these themes throughout 2025 coming up. So stay tuned for some more IoT episodes, and we'll see you in the next Keymasters.